Hey Vegas,
What's up, Cam?
let's get deep.
Okay. Welcome to another episode of CV Radio. I'm Vegas, joined by
Cam.
the great and mighty. Should have said that before you introduced yourself. But welcome back. Another week, another episode. Before we get into things, we have a couple things we'd like to mention. We have our Instagram and Twitter. Both of those are CV Radio Podcast. You can find a link to those down in the description. You can also feel free to email us any questions, feedback, or anything at all. And our email is CVradio.info@gmail.com. Once again, for those who didn't hear it the first time, CVradio.info@gmail.com. And we still have the website. We are still working on it. It's very, very obnoxious, but I can assure everybody it'll be here eventually. Cam, is there anything else you'd like to say before we slide into the podcast?
Websites are hard.
They are. There's one thing that I'm trying to figure out, but it's what brings the whole thing together. But I cannot figure out how to do it.
It's the link to our store.
It's our merch store.
Our Patreon. Give us money.
But Cam, how have things been in your life? How are you feeling?
I'm doing pretty good. I had just an eventful week.
I can agree with that, or not agree, but this week has been interesting, to say the least. It's been very stressful, very down, but I'm feeling much better now. I'm feeling a lot better. I had a lot of things on my mind, a lot of stress and anxiety.
Yeah. Something everyone deals with.
Yeah, which is one of the things we'll talk about. I miss my girlfriend a lot. She's in Florida. She's been there.
I thought you were talking about the Fallout thing. I forgot about that.
Oh. Oh yeah. Well, I have a little funny story I'll mention in just a minute. But yeah, my girlfriend, she's been in Florida since I think July 3rd, and she comes back on Thursday, and I get to see her on Monday. I'm very much looking forward to that. I miss her a lot. But yeah, I have a funny story. So I recently downloaded Fallout 4, as many people probably are familiar with the popular video game. And I started playing it. I had a character. I made it all the way to level 46. I had a lot of time put into this character. And one day I woke up, I went to go load into the world, and it wasn't working. And I was like, this is weird. And then I looked it up, and then I found that in order to fix it, a good thing to do is to delete your saves.
Oh boy.
Like your older saves, the ones that you no longer use. And I was like, okay. So I found a trick to just it was like Z-enter. Oops, I accidentally hit the table. It was like Z-enter to just quickly delete them. And I Z-delete or Z-enter, Z-enter, Z-enter. And then there's only 2 saves left. The first save that I have, and then the last one from the last time I played. And I deleted the first save from the first save I've ever had, and I got a little too cocky, or whatever it was, and I accidentally deleted my most recent save. And just like that, my whole character, everything was gone. Very, very depressing.
You were texting me as this was happening. I felt really bad. It was an emotional roller coaster for me, because at first it was it's all gone, Cam. I don't know what to do. And I was like, I'm sorry. And then you're like, maybe there's a chance I can bring it back. I was like, that's great. He's like, nope, I can't.
Yep. I tried downloading software to recover the saves. Was unfortunately unable to do so, but there's nothing I can do now. It's gone. I have no desire to play Fallout anymore. And yeah. Have you been watching any YouTube videos recently, Cam? Possibly candle haul videos?
Yeah, I saw you sent me a video about some kid reviewing candles. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, so I've been going down a lot of YouTube rabbit holes recently, and one of those is Yankee candle reviews. I don't know how I ended up there, but I'm not gonna question it. I found this kid. I don't know what his channel is, but I found his channel and I was like, huh, I'm gonna watch it. And it was a candle review, and it was very wholesome.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought it was gonna be like cringy or like weird about. I was just like, this is some kid who knows a lot about candles reviewing candles, and it was the greatest thing ever.
You're right. It really wasn't cringy. Like I was expecting like it's really awkward, just like this kid just doesn't know anything about like the world. He's talking about candles. It's like a weirdo. No, he's just a normal kid. He's very read up on candles, knows his terminology, knows what he's talking about.
Oh yeah, he used some words that I have never heard in my entire life.
The oil he's burning through the candles, the tumblers.
Apparently, when they make the candle, like when you smell a candle, you're supposed to smell the lid, which is common knowledge. But like, he gave a reason behind why you're supposed to do that, and I was just like,
wait, why?
I don't know, something about because when you smell like the top, like the lid, it's like what it smells like when it burns. But when you smell the candle itself, that's just like the pure smell, not like what it would smell like if it was burning, something like that. But that was interesting.
Are you a big candle guy?
I don't know how to say this without it sounding weird, but kind of.
Interesting.
I like candles. I like my room to smell nice.
I don't have any candles in my room.
They're very, very nice. My favorite one has to be like anything pumpkin. I don't know, it makes me sound like a white girl, but like it's just like it's. I have like an actual like reason behind it, but I don't know how to explain it because like if I tried to, it wouldn't make sense. But like whenever like if I'm like anxious and I smell it, it makes me feel better. I'm not helping my cause.
I'd probably get a vanilla, like a French vanilla candle.
Okay.
Want to go candle shopping after this?
So what we're talking about is love and anxiety. We found a great website with questions about love.
Yeah.
Not to ask each other. Well, they're general questions. Do you want to start?
These candles. All right.
Anybody who's like, if this is the first time they're watching this podcast, they're gonna just be like, "There's something a little off with these two people."
So you want to just get right into it?
Hit me with it, or I'll ask the question, then you can respond
first.
I've been talking a lot. I had an icy. I'm feeling the effects of it now. I feel a little hyper.
Guaranteed, if we go back to where you got that from, it says it's sugar free.
Possibly. Okay. How do you know when you love someone? So we'll each be answering these questions. How do you know when you love someone?
That's like a loaded question. It's so simple, but there's so much there.
So, do you have an answer right now? Because I think I have something good.
I'm working on an answer.
Okay, so you want me to go first?
That would help.
So, with everybody I've met, or not everybody, but so like, you just know, and like that might not make sense, and I didn't understand it until I met my current girlfriend. But like, people are like, "Oh, I just knew that they were the person." I've always been like, that's bullcrap. Like, there has to be more to it. But I think it's that simple. Like, you just know, whether it's one event, a string of events, whatever it is. Like, it's just that feeling that you know.
Yeah.
Like, when I first saw my girlfriend 2 years ago, I didn't know her, didn't even know her name. I saw her, and I just, like, something was telling me, like, something about this girl is very special. Like, even at that time when I knew nothing about her, I knew that there was something about her that was very special. Like, you have that, like, gut feeling. And, like, like, you can be certain about things, but, like, it's one of those feelings where, like, you just know without a single shred in your mind that, like, it just, yeah. Like, you know that you love you love that person. And it doesn't even necessarily need to be, like, a boyfriend or a girlfriend. It could be like a family member or like a friend. Like, you just know that like they're like everything about them is like spot on.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. I don't have a girlfriend. I'll just
See,
say with that.
I feel really like conceited when I talk about my girlfriend
I can tell that you feel conceited
on the
sometimes.
podcast. Like I feel like I'm being a little like my girlfriend. Like I'm not trying to sound like that, like cocky or whatever it is, but like I don't know, I like talking about her. Obviously, I try and like I don't want that to be. I mean, this podcast is about relationships, so I'm gonna talk somewhat about my relationship. You don't need to be in a relationship to talk about relationships either.
An hour of Vegas just bragging.
Cam, stop. Now I'm not going to talk about her again. Thanks. And I feel like the other thing too is like after like all like the things settle, like when you guys like start being comfortable with each other, like when the butterflies go away and like it's just like you guys are like content, or not content, but like you've calmed, like the quote unquote honeymoon phase like is gone, but like the love and the passion is still there. Like you guys are still the same as when you first kissed or whatever. Like you still like I still cannot believe that I'm dating my girlfriend. Like even now, like I'm still like how like I'm just some ugly dude. Like
Aww.
Like it still like baffles me. Like I remember. Even before I started dating her, I was like, if I can like be friends with her, that'd be sick. And now I'm dating her, so I feel very, very blessed that I can say that. Do you have anything you'd like to say? How do you know when you love someone, Cam?
Well, like as I was trying to get across, I don't have a girlfriend.
That's okay.
I have experienced love for another person before. Now, I do agree with you that you can tell right away when you see someone and there's a feeling there. I don't know if it was necessarily love right away,
but like there's just like they stand out.
Yeah, like this person is special.
Like yeah, whether like they're special, like I want to date them or whatever it is, like you just like something, anything.
I like to say that I know I would love someone because whenever I'm with them, things make too much sense. If that sounds weird.
No, like, I know exactly what you mean.
Say like whenever I'd be with that person who I love, and we're not like worrying about like anything, and it's just us, and it just feels too right. And I'm like, oh, you like feel like more of a complete person when you're around them. It's like, oh, I've been missing like this piece of my life, and here it is. This feels great. Yeah. Yeah, and you're not gonna let anything else. You don't want to think about anything else except for that.
That's exactly that seems very close to. If there is a right answer, I think we both were very close.
Yep. Also, there's a weird tingly feeling in your chest.
Yep.
That might just be the clogged artery.
Let's skip to question 3.
Should I just tell them what question 2 is?
Yeah.
Question 2 is, how did you know you loved me? I don't know how we keep doing this, or like the article we find is for like partners.
I feel like question 1 or 2 are pretty much the same thing. Like if you think about it. Yeah, they are similar. I could think of different reasons or things. Not for you, Cam. No offense. Okay, question 3. Let's talk about that.
Is romantic love the most important love of all?
Do you want to answer that? Please?
I'm going to say it. I'm going to... controversial answer? No. It's not. There's all kinds of love, dog. You can love yourself. That sounds weird. No. You can like love your friends. You can love like your parents, family, stuff like that. You probably should. Hopefully.
Well, everybody has different circumstances.
Yeah.
Some people don't even have parents.
Why'd you? Now I sound like a bad person.
I'm sorry. That wasn't my goal. Yeah, no, I feel like absolutely not. I mean, it is very important, absolutely. I mean, within the realms of a relationship, like having that romance is important. But yeah, there's all types of love. There's love for yourself. There's love for other people. If you're religious, then there's a love for whatever God you choose to worship. And I feel like a super important thing, like before you get into a relationship, is self-love. Like learning to love yourself. Because how can you love someone else if you don't love yourself? Like so many people these days have so many issues with like their self-esteem, or just like they don't feel comfortable with themselves, and it's kind of become like a joke, like, oh, like telling yourself that you're fat or that you're ugly, and like everybody has like their insecurities or like what they're ashamed of, or not ashamed of, but like what they're not, like parts of themselves that they would change.
Yeah.
And it's all about like learning to live with those things, even if you don't like them. It's just like telling yourself, like, you know what, there's nothing I can do to change these parts of me, at least mentally. There's a thing called plastic surgery, which I guess you can change your physical appearance, but like there's only so much you can do. Like you just have to learn to like love yourself and be okay with your body. And like I'm gonna be honest, like I have a lot of issues with like accepting myself.
Yeah,
just like
I do too.
Both mentally and physically. But like every day I try and strive to like love myself. And a big thing that's helped with that is like my girlfriend, who like I feel like
You're fine. Just keep talking.
like she's helped me to like accept myself and to like be comfortable with who I am, because like she was willing to take the chance, and she saw something in me that she was like, you know what, I'm willing to take a risk, and hopefully this kid isn't gonna break my heart or do something stupid. And I mean, so far I haven't done anything to ruin that. So, but like, yeah, I feel like self-love is so important before you get into a relationship.
Yeah, I feel like you have to be comfortable with yourself before you can be comfortable with another person. I feel like that makes sense. Yeah.
You want to move on to the next question?
Go for it.
Do you think once you love someone, you will always love them, or do you think love can fade away with time?
I think love can go away. I think fading, I don't think I've ever experienced it fade away. But I think love can take a hard turn into other emotions, like, dare I say, hatred or just pain.
Mm-hmm.
They're real close on the spectrum there.
I never understand that. Like, couples who break up and they're like, we weren't feeling it, we weren't like, something else has to be there for that to happen. And it can happen. It certainly can, because it's happened. So, yeah. But like, I feel like if you truly fully love someone, like there's just that energy or just something there that's keeping you guys together. Like there are couples who get together in their like younger part of their life who stay married all through their entire life. So clearly that's an indicator that love can last. And I feel like if the two of you want it, then it will. I mean, again, obviously things happen, but like,
you gotta put in effort.
Yeah, exactly. Like a relationship is a two-way exchange. Like if you just have one person, this is kind of unrelated, but it is in a sense related also. Like if you have one person who's putting in all the effort, they're making all the plans, or they're the only person who's like texting or trying to communicate, like it's not going to work out. Like you need to have both people who are carrying their load, who are like, especially if you're like, if there's actual like things that are binding you guys together, like a house or a pet or kids, like you have to learn like to prioritize those things, like finances and work and stuff like that. Like obviously when you're much younger and you have less responsibilities, it's a bit easier, but also it's different too. But yeah, I feel like while it can, love doesn't fade away.
I think there has to be something there, and I think both parties have to stop trying.
And again, and I feel like religion and relationships, or I'll just say spirituality / religion and relationships go hand in hand. Well, it depends on really how you look at it. And if you worship a God, then I feel like there's, like if you have that love in your life, or like that like sort of love, like it'll connect you guys even more. Like if you have that, but that's just like my personal opinion. I don't assume that everybody else agrees with that. Do you want
to hit you with the next one?
Go for it.
Oh, excuse me. What's the first thing you notice about someone when you fall for them?
Do you want to talk about a certain individual in your life?
Jesus.
Jesus. You want to talk about Jesus?
What I love about Jesus.
Do you want to talk about this person that we both know, or no? It's totally up to you. I'm not going to pressure you at all.
Talk very vaguely.
Yeah, just like what stood out, or like what
I started to notice myself trying to be a better person, which is something that I feel like for a while I just didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like you fall, like you see all like these personality traits.
I just kicked the table. I'm very sorry. I've been doing that a lot recently, and I feel really bad. I'm sure the viewers have as well. I'm so sorry. Continue.
I feel like when I fell for a person and I started noticing all of what makes them so great and why I love them, I saw that and I was like,
what's the first thing? When you saw this person, the first thing that stood out, it doesn't have to be very specific, but like just something, whether it's their looks or their personality.
It made me laugh.
It made you laugh?
It's always been a big thing with me, is trying to make others laugh. And this is like the first person where I was like, wow, they make me laugh.
That's a good answer.
Also, they're hot. No.
So, well, I'll go to before I knew anything about my girlfriend, when she was just a random person to me. I mean, her looks. Like, I'm very bad at like awareness of like other people. Like, I don't like know, like I lack that awareness of like people around me. Like, I don't really look at anybody. Like, I just like keep a forward direction, or not just like forward, but like I don't tend to focus on other people. But I noticed her one day, and I was just like, wow, like I don't know anything about her, but like she's beautiful and like she's awesome. But I think like about like her like looks, it was like, these are gonna sound weird, but her jawline, her eyes, and her hair. Is that funny?
I don't know.
You can laugh. But those three things like really stood out to me. Or her eyes and her glasses, and I was like, whoa, like they're very distinctive, or at least her hair and her eyes or her glasses as well. And then once I got to know her, and like I actually had the time to hang out with her and get to know her, it was her passion for like other people, or for like helping other people, just like how much she cared about just like putting greatness into the world, or like willing to like help other people, or like, and like she was willing to like give the coat off her back to another person who needed it more than her. And just like hearing her talk about, like, whenever she gets passionate about something, like it makes me like really happy. So yeah, that's how I knew that.
You brought it back, Vegas. You started that out and I was like, where's it going? I was like, he turned it into something nice and like a good message.
Ooh, this is a good question. Do you believe... Oh, wait, nope. What's one thing about love that scares you?
I got a good one for this. I'd say opening up to someone else and then finding things about you that they don't like.
Yes, I remember when I first started opening up to my girlfriend, I was very scared of that. I was like, I'm going to say something that's going to like freak her out, or like she's going to be like, this kid is too messed up, or like too weird.
I have done those things, I think. It's not a good feeling.
Probably not. Thankfully, I haven't been in that situation, but I hope I never am. I feel like it's not like a future thing, or, well, obviously, like your significant other cheating on you is horrible. But
I didn't do that. I'm just gonna say I didn't do that.
No, I'm saying like that's like
okay. I thought you
really bad.
It is.
But when you're in a relationship, the highs are high and the lows are lower. Like when things are going great, they're wonderful. But like when you're feeling down, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Like a couple days ago, like I was missing my girlfriend a lot. I was feeling like really, really, I guess, depressed. I was like, this sucks. Like it was much like normally, like if it was any other person, I wouldn't care. Or like I don't know how to like preface it properly, but like just like when things are like the highs are high and the lows are lower, and like it's like a double-edged sword because like when things are great, they're great, and when things are bad, they're really not good. So that's probably what scares me most. But again, it's about like taking that risk. Like, are you willing to like risk like the lows for the highs? Or risk the highs for the lows?
No truer words have been spoken, I think. I agree with that 100%. You make me feel bad now.
Why?
I'm thinking about things. You want to do the next one?
I think I asked the last one, so you ask me this one.
Okay. Do you believe in love at first sight?
Yes and no.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Because, like, when every question. So, my girlfriend, like, when I saw her, I knew that there was special about her, or I knew there was something special about her. But, like, I feel like in order to, like, really love someone, you have to, like, get to know them. Well, that's, like, the first step is, like, getting to know them. So, like, you can see someone and they stand out, but you can't just, like, love them when you first see them.
That's a strong word to say to someone you just see for the first time.
Yeah, like when I saw my girlfriend for the first time, I wasn't like, I love her. I was like, I want like the thought of dating her was so like just out of the realm of possibilities. I was just like, she seems like a good friend. Like I was just like so like it was not even a concept I could like grasp.
Why not Vegas?
Because
you're a good dude. What's wrong?
I don't know, like I just like it seems so unlikely to me, and like I've never been a big relationship person like before my girlfriend. Take a shot for every time I say my girlfriend, and you will be dead by now.
Only if you're over 21.
Yes, please. We don't condone.
Drink responsibly, please.
Or I don't condone drinking, but I'm not going to stop anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I won't stop you.
Like, I'm not going to reach through your headphones or whatever listening device you're listening on and punch you.
Make sure to check out the CV Radio podcast shot glasses in the store.
But when I think about like when I was like head over heels about like every person that I would see in like when I was in like 8th grade, it was like you can't force stuff like that to happen. Like it'll never work. Like every month I liked, you can't see me, but I'm doing air quotes, but I would like a new person, and then it would go away in like a week, and I'd be like, oh, there's a new person now. Like I swear this time it's real, and then like come like a couple or like the end of my freshman year of high school, I was kind of like, you know what? Like, I just need to stop focusing on that stuff and just focus on myself. And because, like, every other instance that I had of, like, talking, in quotations, to a girl, they always failed. And, like, when I met my girlfriend, when we started hanging out, because there was, like, a 1.5 year gap where, like, I didn't know, or we never talked at all. Like, I liked her and I was, like, obsessed with her. That sounds a little weird, but, like...
You can say that now.
I can say that now because it's not creepy. But like once I actually got to know her and we got close, I was like, I want to date her, but like I don't want to like break her heart or like do something stupid. Like I don't want to like ruin anything like that. And like you have to like ask yourself like if that's a risk that you're willing to take. Like are you willing to like sacrifice stuff in your own personal life for that other person? And like are you willing to like possibly like the relation, like, because if you're dating someone in a I feel like, never mind, I'm talking too much. Ken, would you like to answer that, or did you already answer that question?
Which question is this? Do you believe in love at first
sight?
Love
at first sight. Wow, I talked for way too long.
I feel like I've never experienced it. It took me a while to be like, you know what, I love this person. it was just a lot of like, oh, I really, this person's great. I want to be their friend. And then once I got close to them, I was like, oh no.
Mm-hmm. I'm not allowed for
more, please. Thanks. All right, that's next question.
Skip that one. Which do you agree with? The question was it love at first sight with me? Which do you agree with? Love should always feel comfortable, or love should always feel new and exciting? Okay. It depends on the person. Some people like new and exciting things. Some people like a more comfortable, laid back thing. And you don't have to have like one of like you can't just only have, or you don't always have to have like that specific thing. Like you can have both exciting but also comfortable. Like there's not just one right answer. Like you can have both.
Yeah, I feel like with me, it's weird because it's both. It was a comfortableness that was very new and exciting for me, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like I'd never felt this comfortable around another person before in my life, and I was like, oh, this is new and exciting. And like my heart was beating real fast. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm weirdly comfortable right now. So yeah, I feel like it can be both. I feel like if you're like adrenaline junkies, it's probably be new and exciting.
Or just a junkie.
Oh.
We'll skip to number 12.
Can I read this one?
Go right ahead.
Do you believe people can change if they love someone?
I did.
I feel like I did too.
I'll go into that. Or do you want to go first? Yeah, I'm going to let you go first. I've been talking way too much.
I feel like that sounds bad when like you say like you changed for someone and they're like, oh, don't change for anyone. But like I feel like once you start to fall in love with someone and you see what makes them happy and you like their happiness makes you happy, you want to be a better person, you want to change things about yourself that don't necessarily change who you are. Like who you are will still always remain the same, but like small things, I guess, that add up to you just being a better person in general. I feel like that's something very beautiful about love, is it makes you want to be a better person and want to change yourself for the better.
I've never heard truer words than that. Yeah, I feel like with my girlfriend, like she's changed me in better ways. Well, depending on how you look at it or how you view it. But like, I guess the first one that's like the most like not that big or like a more minute thing, but like, so she's vegan. She's been vegan for like 3 years, or yeah, 3 years. And like when we first started getting to know each other, she was like telling me about it. And like I'm a very open person, or actually that's not true. Or at least when I'm talking about food, like with food, I'm a very picky eater. Like I only like one sort of food, and I decided to like look into it, like into like a vegan diet and all that stuff, and like the pros and the cons and stuff like that. And like there's like decreased heart or diabetes and heart failure, which are two things that run in both of, or not both. Two things that run in my family: heart disease and diabetes and stuff like that. And I was like, maybe I should start being more conscious about what I eat, because like I'm putting a lot of stuff in my body that I don't know what it is. I don't know what chemicals, and like I'm already lactose intolerant to begin with. So I was like I started off by like cutting stuff like that out, and then like now I mostly don't consume any animal product. I have like chocolate, which technically has milk in it, but like I don't eat any type of meat or dairy or eggs. But I guess, but like I did that for her. Like eventually, like it turned, or it was like I want to do this to like impress her, but also I want to do this because like I know it's gonna better me.
Can I tell a story from after prom?
Wait. Oh yeah, in a second. I know what you're talking about. But the other thing is just like she made me, like she came into my life like at a point when I was like severely depressed and like didn't have any motivation to do anything. But like from talking to her and hearing about her and just or hearing from her, like it made me start to care, and like hearing her passion for other things made me want to be more passionate about like what I'm passionate about, if that makes sense. So yeah.
So, do you want to tell the story?
Yeah, let me give a little background. So this was a couple months ago when I was still, because I was mostly vegan, but I was still eating chicken at the time. And chicken was the last thing for me to cut out, and I just couldn't let go of it because it was all I ate.
Yeah, because that day before prom even happened, we had went to Wendy's and you had some nugs.
Yeah. But now I don't have chicken. I haven't had chicken in like a month and a half.
So
go ahead, tell us.
After prom.
I hope she doesn't watch this. She's going to hate me. Probably not, but it's just funny.
There was a booth where you could take photos. Right? Photo booth. And right next to the photo booth was the
buffet.
The buffet, yep. Now, I wasn't particularly interested in any of the food. I ate my buffalo chicken or whatever from prom. I was like, this is very okay, kind of. So, I was all good. So we were in line, going to go take some photos. I was there, you were there, Victoria was there, friend Tirsa was there. We were all there. And they was like, hey Cam, while we're in line, you wanna just come with me to the buffet real quick? I was like, yeah, all right, sure. I thought like you wanted to talk about something that's going on. It's your demeanor, there's something up. Like there's something up with you, and I was like, I'll listen to this. So you pull me aside, we walk over to the buffet, I'm ready to hear something, ready to get an echo or something. And instead of saying anything, you grab a plate and some tongs and start putting chicken wings on it, and you're like, Cam, Victoria's gonna be really mad if she sees me eating this.
Or she wouldn't. She's not gonna be mad, but she's gonna be like, oh, how come you like I know that like she wouldn't care if I was like eating meat. She'd be like upset about it, but like I do it on my own free will. Like I know that like it's my own decision whether or not I want to eat meat or not.
Yeah, so you had me stand in between. You made me hide you from her as you ate it, and you like scarfed those things down. You're like I looked like you hadn't eaten like food in like a few days. Like,
yeah, that was.
You're
that
like,
was
this
funny.
is so good. You're like, this is the best chicken I've ever had.
But yeah, no. That's unrelated. I'm not going to talk about that. But yeah, that was one of the last times I had chicken. I was like, I'm going to enjoy it. Like if I'm not going to have it for a long time, then I'm going to enjoy it. And I did. Now I don't have any ambition to eat chicken, but
there was that other time where at Wendy's, we go to Wendy's a lot, I guess, where I was just eating like a burger in front of you as you were eating a salad, and I felt pretty bad.
Oh, I don't care about that. I'm not going to like preach. Everybody's always like, oh, vegans trying to shove it down your throat. Like how many times have I brought it up or tried to convince you?
You never tried to convince me.
I bring it up, but usually because it's in the run of the conversation. Like right now.
Yeah. You brought it up then. Right. Any good questions here we want to get to?
Do you want to go to 14?
Let's do it. How long do you think it takes before you know you love someone?
It's one of those things where you just know. Like I know that it might be hard to like understand, but like you know like something about it. Like you just know you love someone. And even before like my girlfriend and I started dating, but we were very close, like there were a lot of times where I wanted to tell her like I love you, but I was like, is that weird? Like is that too weird of me to like tell her that? And even once we started dating, I was like I would feel weird if I like there were times where I wanted to say it, but it still kind of felt weird. And then eventually I started saying it all the time, so it was when I would say it. I don't know, because I feel like when you like say you love someone, like it should be meaningful. Like when I tell her it, like I mean it, but like I don't want to say it every day or not. No, I don't mean it like that. I don't want to say it every day. I don't love her. No, I'm kidding. Like I don't want it. Like I want it to be special. Like it should be special when you say you love someone, because like I feel like so many people now are so afraid to say that they love someone, but like there's nothing wrong with loving someone. Like you shouldn't be afraid to tell someone you love them. Like if you love someone, you love them. Like and it doesn't need to be a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Like you can love anything or anyone and not be ashamed to say it.
I feel like I also knew pretty fast.
Oh, well, yeah, I knew fairly quick, like soon on. Like after the first couple times we hung out, I was like, I think I love her. But like I felt weird saying that because like I never felt that before, so I was like, I'm gonna tread lightly.
There's a big difference between knowing. I feel like there's a difference between knowing you love someone and then telling them,
Oh yeah.
telling them, because I feel like I knew for a while before I told someone that I loved them, and it's just like I was like getting in my own head about it. I was like, this is way too fast. Like something wrong with me. Why am I thinking like that? Come on, Kim.
hmm
But then when you say it, and then you say it, and then they say it back. Hopefully, they say it back. It's
It's one of the most like rewarding things that
Yeah.
someone can tell you. You wanna? It's the
Which one were we on?
the next one we're doing is 15. Oh man.
Would you still be able to love someone after? Why is love underlined? After they've been unfaithful.
I want to answer this one because I have it right on my mind. I feel like just because someone does something, I mean, obviously, like if you cheat on someone, like I don't understand that. Like that is like one of the lowest. Like if you are with someone and you're seeing someone else, just tell them. Like don't hide it. Like how cowardly and horrible of a person do you have to be to not confront your significant other? Like it's still gonna suck. Like if like the person you're dating or you're married to comes up to you and is like, "Hey, I haven't done anything yet with this person, but I've been seeing another person, and I don't think I can see you anymore." That would suck.
Yeah.
A lot. Like that would kill me
Yeah.
or anybody. But like I don't have any room in my heart for people who cheat. I really don't. It does not make sense to me. But I feel like you can still love someone after they've hurt you.
There's a difference between loving someone and letting them go.
That's true. Cause like even if like I don't know, it's just cheaters are they're like the scum of the earth, along with other people. It's just like how bad of a person do you have to be to go out and like you know what that does to another person? Like you know what that does to them like psychologically?
Yeah,
like they're gonna have issues like forming relationships, not even just with like
trust
a
issues.
spouse, yeah, trust issues, like issues with themselves. Like they're gonna constantly be asking themselves like, could I have done something better? Or like what could I have done that would have fixed this or prevented it from happening? And they're gonna have to live with that feeling for a very long time, and that's something that they'll probably never get the answers to, which makes it that much more worse.
Especially if they blame it on themselves.
Yes. And like I know in my heart of heart, like I would never be able to cheat on my girlfriend or anybody for that matter.
Yeah, I couldn't do that.
Like there's no amount of money you could pay me in this world. Like you can give me anything at all that would make me say like, there's nothing you could do that would even make me consider doing that. Like even if she was like, okay, say someone comes up to me like, I'll pay you $100 million. Like you can call your girlfriend and ask her. Like even if she was like, Vegas, you get $10 million, I still wouldn't do it. Like there's nothing that would convince me to do so, even to consider it.
It's a respectable way of thinking. I think the same way.
And I'm not like bullcrapping that answer because like I know she's not gonna end up watching this. I'm just
why not?
It's like 40 minutes in.
Okay.
Maybe she will. I don't think she will. But I'm being honest. Like, there's nothing that I would make me even consider cheating on her.
I'm proud of you, Vegas.
Thank you. Do you have an answer? Did you already answer?
Did I answer? Yeah, it's just a real scummy thing to do. I'd probably still love that person, and I'd probably be like, I would probably blame it on myself because I'm an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like love can make you just a dumb boy sometimes. Dumb boy, dumb girl, whatever.
Real quick. I'm gonna let you finish that. Sorry.
It's just, yeah, like I said before, the love is very close to other emotions. Like it can make you feel other things. Very close on the spectrum. And I feel like you could be hurt by someone and still love them, and that just makes it worse.
Mm-hmm. Real quick, I have an ad. I don't know if you have the same one as me. It says, see if they're cheating on you. Step 1, enter a phone number. 2, view graphic details.
Oh my.
Like, talk about a scam. Okay, 16. Or I don't have to say the number. What constitutes cheating/unfaithfulness for you? Constitutes.
A lot of cheating questions. Obviously there's the physical aspect to it. Doing deeds with other people, I guess. But I don't know. Finding like an emotional connection with someone else while you still have one with me, I feel like would hurt.
I don't know what would constitute. I feel a little stupid because I had to look up what constitute meant while you were talking. But as soon as I saw the definition, I knew what it meant. I was like, oh, okay.
Context clues, Vegas. Just
I know. After I saw the definition, I was like, oh, I already knew that. I don't know. Like, you have to be a real scumbag to cheat on someone. I don't know what constitutes it because I can't justify it. I can't think of anything that would. Like, if you don't, it wraps back to like falling out of love.
Yeah.
Like, if like maybe you're like falling out of love with that person and maybe you're seeing someone else. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I don't know what would constitute it. I really don't know. But I do kind of agree with what you say.
It's just a all around just terrible thing. Next question. Do we want to keep on the cheating stuff?
Let's combine these two with each other. So what is worse, an emotional affair or a physical one? Oh my god, both of them.
They're both just terrible.
I mean, if I had to pick one, probably physical, but
yeah,
they're both horrible.
A physical cheat is an affair, something you just gotta live with forever. You can bring. I feel like an emotional affair can be. You can work on that.
Yeah.
You know, you can recapture what was lost.
These are making me feel horrible.
Yeah, these aren't making me feel real good either.
Okay. Let's go to 20. This is a nice, wholesome one. I would say so. You want to ask it? This one right here?
You do that one. Do you believe love changes you?
Oh, yeah, I guess we kind of did that one already.
Yes, it makes you a better person. It also makes you crazy.
You want to go to 22? I'll ask this one.
Okay.
What do you think is the most important factor of keeping love alive in a relationship? I have a couple answers to this one.
I'd say, I'll keep mine simple. I say you both just have to try. I'm getting choked up thinking about it. But
I was going to say, I thought you were dying over there.
Yeah. I feel like nothing, if no one's trying or if one person is trying and the other person isn't, that's not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's also kind of not what love is, I guess. If it's not making you want to try and be with this person.
It takes two to tango.
Yeah. So yeah,
I think that has a negative connotation. That phrase, takes two to tango.
It's true though.
That is true.
Is it cheating if you tango with someone else?
Yes.
Okay.
So I have a couple answers to this one. Communication, super important. If you're feeling away, even if it's just like, I don't know, maybe you've been feeling a little down recently, and like you're not acting the same way. Like, for that other person to just observe that, it might be very confusing to them. Like, maybe one of you is caught up with schoolwork or work, and the time that they used to be able to put in isn't really there for like that period of time. Like maybe that might kind of mix things up a little bit, or kind of just like, I don't know. So yeah, communication. Obviously, like if you're religious, or if you guys both practice religion, or yeah, that's what I just said. That can be a pretty crucial role, probably the most important if that's how you view it. I guess romantically too. So like whether it's like sex or just physical
Gotta keep up the mysticism. There's got to be something there.
Well, I'm just saying physical.
Yeah.
I just went out there and said.
You did.
I said the S word. Sorry if there are any younger people.
It's a natural. It's a part of a relationship.
Yeah. I feel like that's important too.
Yeah. Do you want to? I feel like we can go to number 24, but word it differently so it's not about that. You get what I'm saying?
I mean.
So question 24, the actual question is forever something you think about with me. But let's just cut off the last two words and put is forever something you think about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That sounds so corny, but like, and I know I'm like very young or whatever, but like, I don't want to say this because I don't want to like sound so like cliche and dumb, but like, I could see myself marrying my girlfriend and like spending my life with. That sounds so stupid.
Why be invited to the wedding?
If I still know you, probably.
Cool.
Yeah. Like I know this sounds so cliche. Like everybody says, "Oh, like I want to marry them" or whatever, but like that's just something that it's like one of those things where you just know, like you feel it inside of you. It's like this is something I want to do, and like, yeah.
I feel like
I want it to last forever.
When I loved someone and I would start to think about what I wanted in life and where I wanted to be and like the goals I wanted to obtain, they would be there.
Oh yeah.
It was like I couldn't
I agree with you 100%.
Not think about what I wanted and not have them there because it's like, oh, obviously they have to be a part of this.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that weirds some people out to think about it like that, especially when we're both. I'm 17. I think you're 18, right?
18 going on 19.
Dang, cool. But like, and you get told by people like, oh, you're still real young and you have a lot to experience. That's not gonna. You can tell me that a million times. It's not gonna change anything for the way I think. But yeah, I feel like absolutely it's something I think about.
Do you want to do 25 or do you want to skip that one?
I feel like I wouldn't have a good answer for that. Do you have a good one?
Nope.
All right.
Who is one couple you know that you admire in terms of love? Is that just like a couple that you see and you get good vibes from it?
I think so.
Do you have a good answer?
Do you have one?
This is gonna sound maybe a little messed up, but like I don't know. There's no relationship that's perfect. Like there's always gonna be flaws, just like with any person. Like we're only human. Like we all have flaws. I feel like I don't have a good answer for that one.
You want me to get real sappy?
Go right ahead.
Well, all right. So what is one couple that you know you admire in terms of love, right? Obviously, I've been in not obviously, but you know, situations that I've been in where I felt like I wanted a relationship with a person and it doesn't really work out because things get complicated, and I wish it could just be simple. Whenever I'm with you, Vegas, and I see the way that you feel and your like happiness, I'm like, you know what? Good for Vegas.
I'm walking away.
I'm like, you know what? I'm happy that he's happy. I'm not like, oh, good for them. Like, if only I could have that. It's not what I think at all. But I'm like, you know what? What was that?
Keep going.
I was like, you know what? They're both very happy, and that's I'm happy.
That meant a lot to me. A little part of me was like, if he says me, like I didn't think you were, but I was like, if he says me, I'm walking away. But that meant a lot to me. Thank you.
Also, Kanye West and Kim Kardashian.
Oh,
power couple.
Cam, where'd you go? All I see is a 14-year-old girl.
Okay. They're both very successful, happy people. So.
Do you want to go to the next one?
Sure. Moving on to the next question. Do you believe you can be friends with someone you loved in the past? That's a tough one.
It depends. I feel like if things can end on a good note, then that's good. Like if both of you are respectful enough, like people these days are so, and I hate this word, but I'm going to use it, but they're so petty. They're so like, oh, my ex this, like it's like they like obsess over the fact that they're their ex or that they have an ex. Like it's such a weird thing that I see a lot of young people do, and it doesn't make sense to me. Like just harping on the past and stuff like that. Like if you can still be friends with them, or not I don't want to say friends because that sounds weird, but like you're not, like you don't resent them or hate them. Like just being able to be like, you know what? Yeah, I dated that person. I don't hate them. I don't like them. That's what I feel. I feel like that's a good answer. That's what I agree with.
I feel like I wouldn't hate them or like resent them or anything. I don't know if I'm a strong enough person to still be able to maintain a friendship with them and see them move on in life.
No, yeah, when I think
Especially
about
if you love them.
Yeah, when I think about like a friendship, it sounds like a little weird. But I mean, it depends on how things end too. Yeah. Or like how things were while you guys dated.
To like have all those like strong like emotions for someone, and then kind of have to always, maybe they don't even go away, but you still have to like tame them, keep them down. And
like like think about like if you're dating someone and they still have contact with their ex, like wouldn't that make you feel a little weird?
Yeah.
Like when I think about that, and I'm like being on the other side of it, I'm like that would be weird. Because like I thought about that halfway through what I was saying. I was like, to be friends is I don't think you can, but like you can also not hate them.
Yeah.
But again, and like it depends on like
how it ends.
Yeah, or like how it was in the middle of it, or whatever. Let's go to. Okay, these are all about sex.
Wait.
I'm at 32 right now. Do you want to do 33? I don't really have an answer for that one, but maybe you
do. I'll ask it. I have somewhat of an answer.
I don't really have one.
Have you ever loved someone who you hoped would change for you? I feel like when you get to know someone, there are little bits and pieces of their personality that you pick out and you go, oh, I don't like these things. You start to be like, oh, I have like I don't know if I'm the only one who does this, but it's like I have a list of things that this person is like, I'm not a big fan of. Now, it's fascinating how immediately all those things go away when you love them, and you're like, all these things that I am petty about, and say like, oh, I wouldn't be able to like someone who does this or who's like this, and then you love them, and you're like, oh, those things literally do not matter in the slightest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like, because you have to, it's like outweighing the pros and cons.
Yeah.
Like everybody goes through stuff in their life, some like whether it's something that happened when they're younger, when they're older, like stuff happens.
It's like, sure, she might have a tattoo on her face, but she's really funny.
Do you want to ask the next question? Or 33? Or no, 35.
If you had a child, what's the first thing you would teach them about love?
First of all, I don't want children.
Me neither.
I don't even have a good answer.
Try and find other things that make you happy besides the person that you love, because that's weird for the other person if they're all that makes you happy. Don't be like a weirdo kid. Also, play baseball. I didn't do sports. You do sports.
I don't do sports. Or not, kind of, not really. I'm lying, I don't do sports.
Don't do band.
I do weird sports.
Don't do band. What does that mean? You gotta explain that now. I mean, I know what you mean, but that's gotta sound really weird.
Weird sports? Like running and rock climbing.
Those aren't weird.
Those are like I do sports. Not really. Like, I'm not a ball sport person. I'm not coordinated in that sense.
Where my mind went when you said I do weird sports. That's...
Cam, this is a PG podcast.
Okay.
Do you believe vulnerability is a good thing when it comes to love? I don't know.
I think for there to be true love, it's kind of unavoidable. You
Yeah.
gotta let your walls down.
Yeah.
And if you get hurt, you're gonna get hurt.
Dude, that was like spot on. I agree with you 100%.
So you gotta take it. Take the pain.
What's the? Do you want to do the next one?
Which number? I keep getting lost.
38.
I'm in the wrong place. What is the most vulnerable way you let someone into your life?
Talk a little bit more into the
Oh, I'm
next.
sorry.
It's all good.
What is the most vulnerable way you let someone into your life?
I guess when I haven't talked about it in a while, but when I met my girlfriend,
Vegas, wait, you have a girlfriend? What?
she came into my life at like a time or a period in my life where I wanted to be better, and I wanted to enjoy life, but like I still wasn't there exactly. And she came in at like the most vulnerable point where she could have hurt me the most, or because she was somebody that I already held to such high esteem, and if she would have if things weren't to like unfold the way they would, I don't know where I would be now. That sounds so stupid, but like, I mean, I certainly wouldn't be dating her. That's what this hypothetical is. If I end up dating her, or if like I wasn't still her friend. But yeah, I feel like that's kind of the most vulnerable way. Like I opened up to her and I told her things I had never told anybody, and like, yeah, I just opened up to her and just let everything out. And it could have gone poorly, but it didn't.
I feel like letting someone else know your vulnerabilities and the things that make you feel bad about yourself. If that goes wrong, that could go real bad, I think.
What are your vulnerabilities?
How long do you got?
Just kidding. I wanted to see what your response would be. I wasn't sure if you were gonna like literally say them or if you're gonna be like, now why would I answer that question? You're just giving ammunition for me and the whoever 2 people are watching this.
Dang.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, and then if it doesn't happen to me, I don't think, but like when they like start to learn these things and it changes their views of you, that could be painful to make you feel much worse about yourself.
Yeah, and I feel like it requires a certain amount of maturity to be able to accept someone for who they are.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there are some things like, oh yeah, but I do like heroin, but like once a month, it's like, whoa, like.
Would you be able to live with that once a month?
No.
Okay.
What about you?
I feel like it'd be a conversation. That's what I do. I've put up with a lot already.
Define love in 5 words.
Do they have to be 5, like a sentence, like 5 connected words?
Actually, that's a good question. Let's do just words and then like a sentence.
Oh, I have a good sentence. It make your chest all tingly.
I'm so stupid. I'm like, I love you so much. A sentence?
We should have came prepared to this.
Will you marry me, please? Define love in 5 words. Let's do like words now.
It's crazy. Crazy feeling.
With words, one I can think of is faith. Both like faith that everything will work out between you guys, and if you are religious, that faith as well. Communication.
Yep.
Passion and compassion.
Vulnerability. Why are you laughing at that? Vulnerability?
I wouldn't put that on there. Well, this is my own list. So if you have like a list that you...
I'm just going to piggyback off your list. Trust.
Trust and communication. Or yeah, trust. And... sex? Question mark?
2 question marks and an exclamation point next to that one.
I was going to yell it, but I don't want to hurt the viewers' ears. Oh, and...
Don't yell that.
And just humor, and
Yep.
similar personality types.
Yeah.
That's like 7 words, but I cheated a little bit. Oh no, I'm a cheater now. I became the thing I feared most, or I hated most. Do you have a good thing to any good 5 words?
I'm just gonna piggyback with your 5 words. I feel like I probably should have came prepared with this answer.
Me too. You want to do the last one now? We have one more question left.
What's the craziest thing you do for love?
Give up meat and go vegan. Oh wait, because I did. Well, it wasn't for love.
Yeah.
It was just for my health. Oh man.
I'd say probably driving all around town, going to different red boxes, trying to find a certain movie.
No, that's a good answer. I feel like my answer, like yours, is gonna outshine mine, but sacrificing the things that you love in your life for that person, whether it's a hobby of yours or time in your day, just sacrificing things that you typically would have and would enjoy for that person. Or just, sacrifice. And trust. Or not like the craziest thing I would do, but it's not exactly crazy, but like it does take a certain amount of like courage to trust someone. I mean, it depends on the person too. Some people are very open and stuff, while other people are very reserved, and it takes a lot for them to open up to you. So yeah.
I feel like put a pin in the love questions. It's all set.
Yeah. Do we still want to talk about the other topic that we had? We're flowing. This is a good one.
This is good.
We're about an hour and 6 minutes in.
It's making me anxious.
So the next thing that we were going to talk about is anxiety. We could always do like talk a little bit about it now, and then there's like a siren outside. I don't know what it is.
I think that's like a garbage truck or something.
But we could like tease it a little bit, and then talk about it more next week.
What do we want to tease? We both have anxiety issues. What's so funny?
I can't say it right now. It's not appropriate for the podcast.
We could cover anxiety attacks. That's a thing that's happened to me, at least. Finding ways to talk about such subjects with others. This is deep stuff. Like this, I feel like this could get deeper than the love stuff.
Yeah.
Like I got a lot.
Yeah. I guess I'll kind of open the can of worms, get them going. So sophomore year of high school, I had a lot of bad things happen very close to each other. I lost a lot. I lost a friend of mine who died to cancer. I lost my godfather in a car crash. A lot of friends that I was kind of just friendships that ended, like very long, like friendships that I'd had for a long time. Like those were my best friends, and there's like a period of time where I didn't have anybody really to talk to, or I had those people in my life who were dead. And I started to experience anxiety for the first time ever, because like I think about my freshman year of high school, where I was doing sports, like I was in shape, like I didn't even know the word anxiety, and then once I started getting anxiety, I was fearful of it and I was afraid of it, and like I feel like with anxiety you can't get rid of it, but you can learn to live with it and to make friends with it. Like you can never. That's what anxiety is. It's like it's an irrational reaction to a rational situation. Like we all react to things differently, and anxiety is kind of that like tepid, like heart is racing, mind is racing, like you go to the worst possible outcome, and you have to like learn to like realize like it's not going to kill me, like it's just something in my head, like why don't I make light of it and like make it my friend and learn to Like, just realize that, like, this is a feeling I might have for the rest of my life. And I can either live in fear of it, or I can learn to accept it and to not let it control who I am. Yeah.
I feel like I deal a lot more with social anxiety, I'd say. I feel like that's been a thing has been a common thing just amongst my life for like as far back as I could think. And I feel like I didn't say it ruined, but it affected my social interactions with others, and it would change the way like how I would speak to other people, which would affect like others' views of me. It would make it worse. I'd say like it would just like it's not helping, right? So that's been a thing that's always been a common sort of theme amongst my life.
Yeah.
And it took me a while before I realized that like it's like I can't keep like letting myself do that. So like I try to like I'm the funny guy. Like I try and make people laugh, right? That's something that like I've always wanted to be. So like I just make myself that person, and that just like making myself be the one to crack the dumb joke that like breaks the ice or whatever. Like I feel like I have to be that person, because it makes me feel a lot better than just not like ever talking to people or like being like afraid to talk to people. I want to be the one that people like want to talk to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I've never experienced like social anxiety, like, and I know someone close in my life or I know a couple of people who have social anxiety, and while I've never experienced it, like hearing from them allows me to like get an understanding of it and learn about it, because like I'm always like seeking to understand. Like I feel like that's a big thing, like a quote that I've read before that I try and live by, or one of the many quotes I like to live by, is seek to understand, not to be understood. Don't try and have other people understand you, like try and understand them. And like through that, then maybe they'll learn to understand you, or they'll understand you. And like in these moments, like in my sophomore year when I was like really just was in a bad spot, like anxiety wise, like I was pushing other people away, and like when I would have to communicate with other people, I would get that like feeling in my chest of like, does this person even like me that I'm talking to? Or like if I had to present, I would just get that like anxious feeling like in my chest of like I'm being judged, like everybody's looking at me. And I don't know, and it also comes from like an insecurity kind of point of view too. Like maybe if you're insecure, it might influence your social anxiety or just anxiety, or vice versa.
Yeah, I feel like that's where, whenever I think about it, that's where it would stem from, is insecurities about myself. And you just gotta learn to be like, you have to not let it affect you.
And you have to like also learn that like you just have to live with it. Like,
yeah.
Just who cares what other people think, which is easier said than done.
Yeah.
But that's like something I try and tell myself, like, because I've in my younger days, or younger, this is like 8th grade freshman year, like I was narcissistic, like very, very badly, like to the point where I was like pushing family members away. Like I was just so like up and about myself, like, you know, Voss water. Like the company.
Yes.
Like I would buy like 3 bottles, and I would use them until like the label would fall off, because I thought I was like so cool, and so like I wanted to like put up that like rich preppy persona of like someone who I really wasn't. But like it made me feel better about myself, but really deep down it wasn't doing that at all. Like maybe it made me feel good for that period of time, but like it was just because like I thought that because I care so much about what other people look like and what I look like, other people must think that way too, which isn't true. Like just because you think that, like most people don't really care about you, like that you see just randomly. Like nobody like like I think about that, or like I can't recall anybody that I've seen today. Like I can't think of one person. Also, I lack that. It's funny because like I used to have a really good awareness of other people around me, like to like every detail. Like I would just, their shoes, their pants, their shirt, their face, just everything from their physical appearance to like the size and the shape of them. And then eventually I was just like, yeah, I don't care anymore. Like, I'm just gonna, like, why am I trying to be someone who I'm not? Like, I just need to, like, be myself and to, like, not care what other people think. And, like, I still struggle with that from time to time, and maybe I'll always struggle with it, but, like, I'm getting better at, like, just being comfortable with who I am, and, like, being friends with people who a couple years ago I wouldn't talk to because I thought that they were too weird or nerdy, despite the fact that I would probably share similar things with them. I just, like, I learned to take that, like, weird part of myself and, like, put it away. When now I'm like, I should just embrace it and just, like, embrace the weirdness and just be who I am. Especially now that I'm out of high school, like, I'm just gonna do whatever I want. Like, whatever makes me happy and whatever makes me feel most comfortable, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I wish I'd done it early. I wish, cause I'm kind of like you in that a lot, where it's like now it's like I don't care. It's like I'm just gonna be me and have fun. That's why for the most part this summer I think's been pretty great. Just me, it's just summer camp, having a good time. I wish I realized this earlier, because it wasn't until like very close to the end of high school where I wanted to be like that.
Yeah, same thing with me. This is gonna sound mean. Please don't take this the wrong way, but, like, if I would have, like, talked to you freshman year, I wouldn't want to be friends with you. Like, I'd be like, that kid's too weird. Even though I like this.
I wouldn't want to be friends with me freshman year either.
I like, even though, like, I was like, oh, like, Cam, he's cool, I would still be like, you know what, he's not preppy, or, like, he doesn't fit my, like, ideal friend, so I can't be friends with him.
He drinks Fiji water.
Like, like, that's how, like, up I was about myself. Like, I was like, I can't be friends with someone unless they fit this mold. And even, like, the people that I met, and, like, through the activities that I did, and just, like, it was mainly from just one friend that I met all these other friends who fulfilled those, like, wants of mine at the time. Like, they were still great people who were, because they were genuine, but I was like, it goes along with the fake it till you make it. Like, I'd faked it for so long, and I'd finally made it, and I was like, well, this sucks. And, like, once I kind of had that falling out, it was just like I was left with nothing. Like, I didn't have anybody. Like, I didn't know who I was, like, as a person, or, like, what I enjoyed, or even just, like, what I wanted to wear. And it was kind of just like, what is it, the word? Identity crisis. Like, I don't, like, who am I? And I feel like everybody really has that when they're younger. Like, just who you are, or, like, what is my calling? Like, what do I want to do with my life? Or just what do I, like, friends or anything like that? Like, the biggest step for me was, like, well, one of the last big steps that I had was, like, talking to you, which sounds stupid and kind of mean, but, like in the psychology class, like, a lot of those people who were in that class were people who I was friends with before. Like, when I was, like, I hate saying popular. I don't really think I was popular. I don't think I ever was, but, like, a lot of those people were people I would typically talk to, who I would be friends with. And there are people who I actually was genuine friends with. But, like, if that class would have happened freshman year, I would not have talked to you.
Dang.
But that sounds mean, but, like now I was like, or at that point I was like, Cam is a cool kid. Like, why am I going to push him away because I don't find him to be cool? Which I didn't. I found you to be cool. And, like, that was one of the last big things where I was like, you know what? Yeah. Like, this is my boy Cam. Like, everybody else in here, well, not everybody, but mostly everybody I don't really care about. Not like I don't care in, like, a negative way, but I just don't know who you are. But, like, once I, like, getting to know you was, like, a big thing, like, of, like, yeah, like, he's a genuine person who I share similar interests with. And I feel like the people who you hang out with are going to pull those qualities out of you. Or, like, if you hang out with a bunch of junkies, like, you're going to be a junkie. Or, like, a loser is, like, you're going to be a loser. Like, if you hang out with people who, like, you're not like they're going to transform you into that. Or maybe you are that and you're trying to seek other people who are also like that. It's kind of like a super ego. Like, I feel like that's kind of what I had, was, like, a super ego imbalance of, like, getting other people's approval.
Remember that class, Vegas? That's a good class. Remember all of our text conversations?
Oh, yeah. Those are good.
I very quickly got to know Vegas pretty well from the stuff he was texting me during that class. I was like, oh.
Do you want to talk about, like, panic attacks or?
They're not fun.
Like, I never knew what a panic attack was until I had one.
Me neither.
And it's one of those, like, once you have the first one, it's just like a loop of like, or not a loop, but like,
Lucky me, I've only had one.
like, they'll happen again.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
That, like, after I had the first one, I was like, it wasn't until much, much later that I had another one. Like, I've had maybe 3 panic attacks.
It sucks.
It's horrible.
It's the worst feeling.
Something that I read that made me, or it was actually a podcast I was watching, because it was like a question like, how would you describe a panic attack? And one of the people was like, it's like your body resetting. It's like a computer that's crashed and it's rebooting. Because like after a panic attack, like you kind of just feel like a little fuzzy. Well, not fuzzy, but it's kind of just like you're still a little disoriented. And you're still trying to like...
I felt sick.
Yeah, exactly. And like even like the week after, you're kind of like numb. Not in like a deep depressing way, but you're kind of like, like you're a little scared because you're like, this might happen again. And thankfully I've only had 3. I don't know if I want to share the second one because it's not for a younger audience. Do you think I should share it?
If you don't want to, don't.
Okay. I mean, I want to, but maybe for a later time.
Like after the podcast?
Oh yeah, I'll tell you after the podcast.
Okay.
But yeah, they're not fun. And I had one kind of recently.
Me too.
Which wasn't fun.
Yeah.
But what do you think is the best coping, or like what advice would you have for people with anxiety? It's kind of a loaded question, but
I feel like it is a loaded question. I feel like
that's not. I wasn't like taking offense to that.
I feel like you have to surround yourself with people who you know love you. Back to the love topic, but you need a support system, I'd say. Like after I had my anxiety or panic attack, like funny enough, one of the people I called while it was going on was you, Vegas. You're a support system in my life, and I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And it was like I have to there are people in my life who care about me and care that this is happening to me, and they don't like that. They don't like to see me like this. So it's not going to be a burden onto them for the most part if I take some solace into that care. Yeah,
having like other people around you who understand that feeling, like anxiety or depression or whatever it is, like having that makes you feel a lot better because like they know what it's like. So like if I'm around someone and they're having anxiety or whatever, like maybe they're anxious, like I know how to like help them. I mean, obviously everybody's different with how they cope with it, but like I'm willing to at least understand like what it's like.
When I had mine, I was all alone in my house. It was not a good feeling.
Well, I'll tell my story, and if you would like to share yours, you can as well. I don't know do you want to share yours? The first time you had, like, what the leading up and it happening, and then after.
Somewhat relevant to this episode in general, I'd say. There was someone who I cared about very deeply. Some would say I would even love them, and something had happened between us. There was an argument, and I said some things that I felt were going on in my mind. And the way this person responded is they didn't feel like this was who they thought they cared about, who they loved, the personality traits that I was exhibiting. And something about that, it affected me in a way like real bad where I thought like, well, the way I'm acting, that's me. That is who I am. So whoever they think they are, that's not me. So they just don't like the actual me. And the more I thought about that, it did not make me feel good. And I tried to talk to this person and they weren't around. They weren't responding. And the more I just thought about it, the more I just got into my own head. Like that's what happened. It was in this basement. I came down here, see that couch over there? I was on that couch, losing my mind. It's just not a good feeling.
I have a similar story, but I'm going to save it, or not super similar, but I'm going to save it till after, that I just thought of that I wanted to share with you. The first one I ever had, Now, so this was my sophomore summer going into my junior year. Yes, yeah. And it might have been like mid-August or maybe a little bit like late July or early August. And there were like events leading up to it like that I don't really recall exactly, but I was like a recluse. Like I wasn't talking to anybody. I was in my room. I was watching a video. You know the YouTube channel Cinema Sins? It was like everything wrong with The Purge. I was watching it and like I had a fear of like dying, like or like someone breaking into my house and killing me. I was watching The Purge, which doesn't really help with that.
No,
because that's kind of what the movie's about. And I started thinking, I was like, what if I have to go to the emergency room? Like my mom's at work, she doesn't get home till like midnight. At this point, it was like maybe 11, so there's only like an hour. I was like, what if I have to go to the emergency room? Like, what if I die? And just all this stuff started happening, and I started getting this like this racing feeling. And I'm like, oh man, like, well, I don't know what's going on right now. And my mom eventually got home, and she's like a behavioral therapist. Like she goes to school for like psychology, so she understands how all of it works. And she's like, "You're not gonna die." She's like, "So just calm down. Like everything's gonna be okay." And then she gave me like a melatonin, and I laid in bed for like 2 hours, just like my mind. Like I wasn't still riding that panic attack, but it was like the falling of it. Like it was kind of like like the anxiety's going away, but you still like feel the panic attack. But it's like it's not like oh my god, but it's kind of just like you can breathe, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Like I was kind of riding down that for like 2 hours, and I was just like laying down and just like I was like I need to get out of this room. Like I need to go literally anywhere that's not here. And I ended up spending like a week at my grandparents' house just to like detox. Or is that only like a drug term?
Just think, mentally detox.
Yeah. Just to like get away from like my environment, to just like recuperate and just like reboot. Kind of like to the computer analogy. Yeah, that was the first one I ever had. Then I had anxiety after that. Wasn't until then. Curse that day.
Have you seen The Purge 2 or 3?
No, I haven't seen the first one.
It's alright.
Is it? It seems pretty interesting, but aren't there like 4 of them? Like, do we really need 4 Purge movies?
I can talk about this all day. I like the concept of the first Purge. I feel like it has the strongest concept, but it's the worst one. I feel like 2 and 3, the concepts get looser and looser, but they're better films. I have yet to see the 4th one.
The other one that just came out.
Yeah.
Anything else about anxiety?
I'd say support system's good. Therapy.
Mm-hmm.
If you think you need that, or if you start having the urge to be like, maybe I want to talk to a professional about this, I think you absolutely should.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that
There's
at all.
nothing wrong with that.
I feel like the stigma is kind of starting to go away of like therapist.
Yeah.
There's literally like, and I know not everybody finds fulfillment with talking with another person, but they don't even necessarily need to give you feedback back. Like it's just being able to talk to them and let it out, and knowing that they are a professional and they do understand it, and they talk to people all the time, so they're the most like understanding people ever. And like if it's that bad, if you are like suicidal or anything, like going to like a hospital, there's nothing wrong with that either. Or like taking medication, and if you are religious, praying or reading whatever scripture, the Bible or the Quran or whatever it is. But yeah, there are plenty of ways that you can use to cope with anxiety or depression or whatever it is you have going on. But yes, seek professional help because it will help you, and there's nothing wrong or weird about it at all.
Yeah.
Has there been anything else that you want to talk about, whether related or unrelated?
I think we've reached a solid like oomph moment. You know, I'm kind of ruining it now by saying that, but do you want to?
No, I want to keep doing it, but like I can't. I think we should just end it while it's still good. Yeah. I hope other people think it's good.
I thought you were saying that end it while it's still good. As like you're trying to like talk about what was going on before, like with love and stuff. I thought you were trying to make a joke out of that, but I guess you weren't.
I mean, I guess we kind of ended it on a sappy note, but
Yeah.
we had we talked about love, which was enjoyable. We had another pretty deep episode.
About candles.
Candles, yeah, we talked about candles. And what else did we talk about?
Do you want? We can go candle shopping after this.
Let's do it.
Okay.
We'll update you. We'll update everybody next week with our candle shopping.
I'm probably not gonna buy one.
Oh, I'm not gonna buy any either, but
look at 'em.
Just fun to do. Anyways, with that being said, thank you everybody. If you're still listening to this episode, thank you so much. Like, this is I think the longest episode we've done so far, 1 hour and 30.
That's long.
And yeah, if you'd like to contact us about anything we talked about this episode or anything at all, any feedback, comments, just anything, any questions, you can feel free to email us. Our email is CVradio.info@gmail.com. There'll be a link to that down in the description, along with both our Instagram and
our Twitter.
Twitter. I almost said Facebook there. We don't use Facebook in this
for
house.
Old fogies.
And for both of those, it's CV Radio Podcast, both the Twitter and the Instagram. And we are still, as I said before, working on the website. It's very tedious. Please forgive us. It's not easy trying to figure that all out. And yeah, anyways, with that being said, Cam, do you have any final closing words before we end this week's episode?
You are not alone.
Yes, I think that's good. Anyways, thank you everybody for watching this week's episode. I've been Vegas. I almost said Cam. I'm not Cam. I'm Vegas.
And I've been Cam.
And we'll see you all next week.